Hi, everybody. Welcome into the NASCAR Illustrated studio. I'm Stephen Levine with Chase Elliott. This, of course, is Gaining Traction, our monthly look at NASCAR's up-and-coming drivers. How old were you when you first sort of piloted a vehicle by yourself?
Well, I was 8 when I started racing go-karts. It's kind of something that I've always wanted to pursue, and you know, racing go-karts was just kind of something at the time, just to have a lot of fun, something Dad and I could go do and race and have a good time. And you know, obviously he wasn't able to be there all the time because he was racing full time at that point.
Do you feel like sharing that with your dad has brought you guys closer together in a way?
Yeah, I definitely think so. You know, racing's always been kind of a passion of my whole family's, from my dad to both my uncles, my grandfathers. Everybody's always had a lot of passion for the sport, and I definitely don't feel like that hurts at all.
So there was never any question in your mind. This was what you were going to pursue.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never wanted to do anything else. So this has always been a dream of mine, and I'm just glad I'm able to be pursuing it now.
You know, it's interesting because you hear people talk about nature versus nurture, right? Well, you got both, right? You have the sort of gene pool of being a racer, but you also grew up around the sport. Do you think one of those sort of aspects of your life has been a greater influence?
I think more than anything is kind of growing up around the sport,
yeah.
and beyond that, just kind of having a better understanding of what these guys do on the weekends and what it takes to win and be successful, and in the same token, what you can do to mess it up. So, you know, I feel like I've kind of been around it long enough to see some of the ins and outs, and I by no means have it figured out, but I feel like I have a better understanding of kind of what goes on.
What's your most vivid memory of watching your dad race before you started down this path on your own?
I think the coolest one, I just remember bits and pieces of when he won the Brickyard that year. I thought that was just really neat, and I know that's one of his favorite wins, and you know, he was having a blast running for Ray those couple years in the 9 car, and just to be running the 9 car again, that was just a really fun couple years for him. I know he was having a really good time, and I was glad I was able to be a part of those 2 years.
Do you ever think, God, it would be cool to be able to race against him on the track?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a blast. I don't know how exactly that would work out. I feel like it'd be a great time. We've never really had a chance to race against each other before in an actual race. So I think it'd be great. And that's definitely something I'm gonna push for if the opportunity permits itself.
And who do you think would get the upper hand there?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
That's all we got. That's all we got to go race, right? But I'm not sure. I'm sure it'd be a good race. Obviously, you know, I want to beat him.
Do you ever wish you could just be Chase Elliott, up-and-coming driver, instead of Chase Elliott, up-and-coming driver and son of NASCAR legend?
Well, I think I am. You know, obviously my dad's had a phenomenal career, and I have all the respect in the world for him. But in the same sense, I'm me and he's him. You know, we're not the same person, and I'm trying to make a name for myself. And you know, I feel like I'm trying to work towards that now, and hopefully at some point I'll get there.
Yeah, well, you've gotten off to a phenomenal start this season. I mean, your youngest winner of the Snowball, plus most top 5s for your age to start a season, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure.
You're not keeping track?
No, we take it a race at a time. You know, we've had a pretty good, solid start to this year. I feel like we've had some good races, some races that I've made a lot of mistakes in, and just trying to learn the ins and outs of the Truck Series and what it takes to go fast there. So we're just kind of taking this year as a learning year, and just getting prepared for, you know, opportunities that might you know, be there in the future.
You know, Rick Hendrick swore off development drivers 6 years ago, said, I'm not doing it anymore. It's costing me too much money, too many busted up race cars, yet he signs you to a development contract. What do you think about when you hear something like that?
Yeah, well, that's obviously, you know, and I've said it time and time again, it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and one that I wouldn't trade anything for. You know, obviously Mr. H has been, he's been an awesome guy to me. He's given me an opportunity that is just great. You know, it's allowed me to go do things that I wouldn't have been able to do had this not come about. And he's been very fair to me, and more than anything, he's just been a good mentor and a guy that you know, I feel like is leading me down a good path right now. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, just more than anything, just really been fair to me, and I appreciate it.
And I got to think that giving you the opportunity to work with a crew chief that's won a nationwide championship, that's guided people in the Cup Series, Lance McGrew we're talking about, has to be of benefit to you.
Absolutely. You know, obviously Lance is just his knowledge alone is a lot of help to me, and just him knowing things on and off the racetrack, the ins and outs of the sport, that's definitely not going to hurt. So it's good to have him around, and I've picked up a lot of things from him, and I feel like, you know, especially this year, our communication's been pretty good, and I think we're all kind of working in the right direction. Pretty
much everybody on Facebook is just assuming you're taking over the 24. Jeff is sort of on the downside of his career. You're on the upside of his career. Those two things might intersect at a really interesting time.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be a bad thing for sure. But no, it's nothing that I've spent a whole lot of time thinking about. I'd be lying to you if I said I haven't thought about it. Who wouldn't want to?
Right.
Well, who wouldn't want to drive that car when they get older? So, but in the same sense, you know, for me, I'm just kind of taking a race at a time, and you know, I feel like if we can get some wins and get some results and just have a good number of years, and you know, if I can just do my job behind the wheel, I think a lot of things will figure themselves out. And you know, if one day that's where I end up, that'd be great. But you know, I'm not gonna think about it and just work on what we have going on now.